You know, I didn't ask for this. I had this idea in my head as a kid. I was going to grow up and do something cool and be this beautiful, wonderful person with so many things going for me. You see, I was revered in school for being a smart kid. I went through every gifted and talented program there was as I went from one school district to another. And through it all, I was a cheerful kid, and people still say that I'm one of the happiest people that they've ever met. I wish it were true. I'm so used to grinning and throwing out compliments to strangers and hugging my friends every time I see them and saying thank you to everybody who does any last tiny little thing for me that I've lost the ability to connect that with the way that it actually feels inside my head. Everything I say and do for people is sincere, and I like making people happy, but there's such a divide between my actions and my emotions. It's almost hilarious. When I go all in what looks like happiness, it's usually just mania. And I spend days afterwards beating myself up for every last thing that I did while I was like that. I forget when to stop in a crazy confidence and joy, and then I forget again in the other direction, and that's exactly a summary of what I am, either manically cheerful or drowning down deeper into self-loathing. It's not as bad now that I take pills. Isn't it a miracle that my psychiatrist found me some that don't cost upwards of $1,000? But it used to be worse. So much worse. I'd laugh and make loud jokes with my friends and then avoid them altogether the next day. And I'd set myself up to sing solos only to have anxiety attacks whenever I performed. And it's just, I wish I could get myself out of it. I wish I had the bipolar disorder that people think they have, the one where they're just more emotional than normal, and that's it. But instead, I make mistakes, and I don't care when I make them, but I care way too much when all's said and done, and I waste time unable to make myself do something. And I have to face the consequences whenever I come back from that, and I want anything to make it end. But I don't want to have to shell out money to a scamming company that leeches off of my humanity. But I have to. And that's all I can do. I keep myself under control with my actions, my mindset, and an orange bottle. But still, even when I think that there's no point, there are plenty of reasons not to give up. I have friends who still answer my texts when I come back, no matter how long I spend silent and broken and useless. And I can do things that I've always wanted to do. I can fill sketchbooks and journals, and I can make myself a future with that same confidence that leads me to do those things. And even if I make myself look like an idiot or do something I regret in a fit of panic, they still stick around. And I stick around for that future that I sometimes can't see, and those friends that I sometimes can't fathom, and the places, the journeys, stupid videos online, and dogs and tacos and everything. I've been working on that part, staying positive and all. See, if I tell myself that kind of stuff enough, it might change the way I think, maybe even the way I act. You ever told yourself a lie long enough that you kind of started to believe it a little bit? Turns out that's a really good trick for people with fucked up minds. See, I can't change the way the chemicals work up there, but I can at least trick myself long enough to go to sleep. And that's where I always end up. I can't lose my head if I'm asleep, right? I have to remind myself that it's okay to wake up.